Happy Hot Docs to all who celebrate Canada's largest documentary film festival, taking over theaters around the downtown core until May 5th. Metro Morning's film columnist Jason Gorber is here with his recommendations. Jason, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Okay, before we get to Hot Docs, we were talking earlier on the program because Jerry Seinfeld said the movie business is over. You were listening. You were yelling at your radio. Tell me what you were yelling.
Look, the experience of seeing things in the theater is incredible when it works. When it's not, it's annoying. I understand that, and it's expensive for a lot of people to do. But there's nothing like seeing a film with the community. It's as simple as that. And Hot Docs is an extraordinary example of that. So many of the films that are actually playing there, the nonfiction films that are playing there, are ones that sort of will get their theatrical place within a festival environment, and then might end up on television. It might end up that you're watching it on your couch with your blanket. But nonetheless, to see some of these projects that people spend years, sometimes decades on, with an audience that is responding, you can feel the emotionality, you can feel all those elements, that cannot be changed. And again, we can be super cynical about it. Jerry Seinfeld is just looking to bring attention to his project. He says things and people jump up and down about it. I think in this case, there are films, not just the Mission Impossibles, not just the big event films, but many, many films are just made better by watching them within a community.
Let's talk about a particular film, Luther at Hot Docs. Tell me all about it.
That was the opening film last night. It's about Luther Vandross. It played Sundance and had a splashy opening last night. Dawn Porter directed it. I had a pleasure of speaking with her. It's great, and it's introducing to many people this incredible singer who was he was a backup singer, and then he became sort of a lead. Within the African-American community, he's huge and continues to be huge, but within some of his star power has reduced for younger generations. But if you look at somebody like Beyonce, she owes a tremendous amount to the type of music that he was making at the time and the kind of performance that he would actually give. So you have superstars of today that absolutely owe him sort of some attention, in the same way that in this film he spends a lot of time talking about particularly the women that influence him, the Patti LaBelle's, the et cetera, et cetera. So it's in terms of music docs, it is a very, very good one because it goes beyond simply being a greatest hits of this one artist. It actually delves into some really deep and profound issues.
So that is Luther, which opened Hot Docs, as you say, but there are two others that have caught your eye, and they're both about Norway.
Well, sort of about Norway, but in really fascinating and sort of dichotomous ways. One is called Life is Beautiful, which is a film about a Gazan filmmaker who takes a cultural exchange and then gets kind of trapped in Tromsø. I was actually at a festival in Tromsø. It's a beautiful place, way north, 69th parallel. Incredible place, beautiful film community, and he was there and unable to go home. And what's fascinating about this film, it's about he's shooting stuff in his community outside of Gaza City, and talking about how he's having to navigate these systems, and he's sort of a stateless person, as it were, and according to the Norwegians, and trying to navigate all this stuff. His first test screening was October 7th. And so you have this film that very much showcases a vision of Gaza, which much of it has been erased. The other one is it's called Norwegian Democracy, so crazy instead of democracy. And this is an astonishing film, the kind of film, it's provocative, but it's done in a way which is absolutely engaging, and exactly the kind of film that people are like, I don't want to watch that. This is the kind of film one should seek out. It spent 3 years following a person in Norway where they have very strong free speech laws. And it's a person that goes around to provocatively burn Qurans. And you're watching a person where in Canada it would potentially fall under hate crime legislation. Mm-hmm. You are seeing this individual go through and interact with the community, and you see the community respond. It is a rumination upon what limits are there to freedom of speech. It's something we're going through right now on the news, on the headlines now. When does it become hate? When does it become we need to maintain the freedom of expression? This is such a rich documentary that is, whatever your view on the subject, you're going to get something rich and deep out of it. And to see this, again, to be in an audience for this, because I was reviewing it, I saw it sort of, again, at home on my couch. But I'm envious of those that will get a chance to see this with an audience, to feel sometimes the discomfort, but also to feel the sort of energizing sense that you're actually getting something extraordinary. Hot Docs is going through all kinds of nonsense right now.
Yeah.
They are financially disastrous.
Hot Docs is a hot mess in many ways.
Marie Nelson, the new president, gave an atrocious interview to Globe and Mail that clearly shows that financially there's all kinds of things out of their depth. It is really, really tragic for me about how this world's great documentary film festival is under onslaught. 10 of their programmers quit, et cetera, et cetera. The films are here this year. The films are worth supporting. This festival is worth supporting financially, emotionally, as an audience member. And I hope that enough people come together to actually rescue this precarious festival, which is such a fundamental place, not only within the Toronto film community, but within the international documentary community. Some of the best nonfiction film of the world has come out of this Toronto event. And it is absolutely appalling that it's gotten to this state because of mismanagement, because of all kinds of other nonsense that's gone on.
Let's just talk about where it is at relative to the cliff for a second. The president has warned this could be the last year of Hot Docs.
And then the president did this interview where they basically admitted that they completely screwed up all funding. So the federal government just gave tens of millions of dollars to TIFF, which is across the street from where we are right now, which is also in a state of precariousness, and $0 to Hot Docs. And so when asked in this particular interview, well, did you do all these things to make things work? They're like, no, we didn't even do that, or we weren't ready for that. It is just major changes have to take place there. New artistic director has to be put in, and we have to find a way to actually rescue this festival because it's fundamental not only to Toronto, to Canada, to filmmakers here, to spreading the voice. This is if what we want to do is amplify voices within the community of true stories. Hot Docs is absolutely fundamental, and we must find a way of actually rescuing it.
Jason, thank you.
All the best. Take care.
Jason Gorber is Metro Morning's film columnist.
Thanks, Sheriff.